Welcome to a world where the skies hold secrets and the unknown looms overhead. In this riveting exploration, we delve into a series of chilling UFO cases that defy explanation. Prepare to be captivated by encounters that send shivers down your spine and leave you questioning the boundaries of our reality. Are we truly alone in the cosmos? Or is there something more sinister lurking in the shadows of our night skies? Here's the first case. April 13th, 1964. At around 8:40 p.m. on the night in question, bus driver Bob Fall was driving alongside the River Lee in the town of Walthamstow, England, when his attention was drawn to a fast-moving aerial object that barely missed his bus as it plunged into the depths of the river. He said, "I just glanced into the sky and saw something coming towards me very, very fast. It flew straight across the road, and had I been a few yards further forward, it would have hit the top deck of the bus. At first, I thought the back windows of the bus had come in, and as I turned around, I saw all the passengers looking out towards the river. There was a big splash in the water. I stopped as soon as I could to report it. The thing was at least 9 feet long, cigar-shaped and silver," he insisted. "If it had been a bird or birds, I would have seen the wings. Besides, it was going too fast." As a result of the media publicity afforded this event, a British UFO investigator, Ronald Caswell of Harlow, Essex, looked into the case and uncovered a wealth of data that had been almost completely overlooked by his contemporaries. I have a piece of one of the telephone wires broken by the object. A newspaper shows great coils of it on the towpath. The police spokesman's suggestion that a duck, or even 4 ducks, could have broken those wires is ridiculous. Neither could a swan. The length of the wire across the river would have moved away at the pressure of a plummeting bird, and the bird would certainly have been badly injured, if not killed. Notably, Caswell also said that he learned, when it was late enough for the general public to have cleared off, heavy lifting equipment was brought in, and a find was made in the early hours of the morning. What that find was has never been disclosed. Now, to another case of the object type. January 4th, 1965. We have drawn a blank. In the early part of 1996, the British Ministry of Defence, MOD, declassified under the terms of the government's 30-year ruling, legislation designed to ensure that all documents, regardless of classification, were withheld from public scrutiny for a minimum of 30 years, a file that detailed a variety of UFO reports that the MOD received during 1965. Contained within the file was an 11-page report concerning an unidentified object that was seen to come down in the vicinity of March, Cambridgeshire, England, on January 5th, 1965. A man named Max Barron, one of those who witnessed the descent of the object, quickly wrote to the Meteorological Office Unit, MOU, at Huntington Road, Cambridge. Barron stated, "Whilst in the sunlight it remained visible, giving the appearance of a curved object, perhaps a parachute, but I would have thought too fast for that. Before falling too low to be visible in the low sun, it appeared to be falling to a point perhaps a mile or 2 southeast of the town center from where I was watching. What could the falling object have been?" The senior meteorological officer at Cambridge immediately contacted his headquarters at Bracknell, Berkshire, regarding Barron's letter. Recognizing that this was a matter for the Ministry of Defense, Bracknell prepared a 1-page memorandum for the MOD outlining the facts. The MOD quickly swung into action. According to a 1-page handwritten note contained within the file, the police at March had been directed by the MOD to look into the matter. The police sent a car out to look for the object in the vicinity of the 16-route drain, but without success, stated the note. The MOD also put numerous questions to a host of other official departments as it sought to locate and identify the UFO, including the Royal Navy, the Ministry of Aviation, and various civil aviation bodies. Whatever the object was, the MOD claimed, it was not a piece of military hardware. Things which may on occasion fall from aircraft include external fuel tanks, drag chutes, cockpit canopies, access panels on doors, and sometimes accumulations of ice, the MOD informed Max Barron. "We have looked carefully into all these possibilities so far as our own aircraft are concerned, but have drawn a blank." Number 3. January 6th, 1995. Collision course. A close encounter between a British Airways jet with 60 passengers on board and an illuminated, triangular-shaped, unidentified flying object at 13,000 feet above the Pennines is under formal investigation by the Civil Aviation Authority, stated the Times newspaper on February 2, 1995. The incident had actually taken place on January 6, 1995, as Captain Roger Wills and co-pilot Mark Stewart began their descent towards Manchester Airport, England, in a Boeing 737 twin jet. 17 minutes before touchdown, all was normal until a mysterious object flashed past the right-hand side of the aircraft at a distance described as being very close. So close that the crew actually ducked down in their seats as the object sped past them. An immediate check with air traffic control at Ringway revealed that nothing had been picked up on radar, save for the 737 itself. Anticipating ridicule, the crew of Flight BA 5601 did not report the incident to their colleagues. However, British Airways management was ultimately advised of what had occurred. In line with set procedures, a full report, complete with sketches of the UFO, was sent to the Joint Air Miss Working Group, a part of the Civil Aviation Authority. A CADA spokesperson said that any suggestion that the object had been a UFO was purely speculative, adding that the investigation could last up to 6 months. The spokesperson told the press, "A very small proportion of near-miss situations involving untraced aircraft remain unresolved." This was one of those unresolved ones. February 5, 1986, an unexplained encounter in the skies. A brief UK Ministry of Defence document reveals the salient data on a UFO encounter involving a highly respectable source, an airline pilot who sighted a UFO in the airspace of Ireland. The report states, the 5th of February, 865,427 N0530W, bright light passed upwards in front of AC. AC was crossing east coast of Ireland on descent. Light traveled towards AC from a 2.30 position range approx. 2 miles and past 1,000 feet above traveling right to left 1 mile ahead. Burst of green light observed at peak of its ballistic flight. ACHT height 1,450 feet. CTA closure. Possibly flare fired at about time of OCC by Aldergrove. Pilot considered this unlikely, but no other explanation has emerged. June 12, 1982. A 500-foot-long UFO, a public service corporation, the Civil Aviation Authority was established by the British Parliament in 1972 as a specialist aviation regulator and provider of air traffic services. Following its separation from the National Air Traffic Services in 2001, the CADA became the UK's independent aviation regulator, with all civil aviation functions, such as economic regulations, airspace policy, safety regulations, and consumer protection, integrated within a single unified body. The CADA has declassified into the public domain a number of documents that tell of extraordinary encounters with UFOs, as the following startling extract demonstrates. The 12th of June 82 Dinklesbuhy, large translucent object 500 feet long at 41,000 feet. ATCC, Air Traffic Control Center, requested subject aircraft to investigate this object, which was found to have the form of a double rectangle surmounted by a globe, egg shape, crowned by a silver cone. Object observed by all on board. The strange saga of this absolutely huge UFO was never figured out. August 18, 1983. A spotted UFO. The 18th of August, 83. Florence, unidentified flying object seen by crew. Large black object, balloon shaped with large white spot on it, observed 10 nanometers SE of Forenza. No attachments to object. Sup info. Italian CAA replied, no Met meteorological balloon could possibly have been present at the indicated place or time. Prepared by the staff of the UK's Civil Aviation Authority in the summer of 1983, this particular report, although brief, clearly demonstrates something very unusual was seen in the skies of Florence. Precisely what was seen, however, remains unknown. Here's another. August 21st, 1986. A cigar-shaped UFO and an official document. The following is extracted from a notable file on UFOs prepared by the UK's Civil Aviation Authority in the 1980s. The 21st of August 86, Belgrade non-UK air missile-type object passed 500 feet above on reciprocal track, AC heading 290 mag at FL 390. Object was black, cigar-shaped, without wings. Belgrade radar informed on RTF. CAA closure, foreign authority advised. And finally, February 9, 1962, a flying saucer and engine trouble. In February 1962, an employee of the UK Royal Air Force Police, one Sergeant C.J. Perry, was ordered to investigate a then-recent extraordinary UFO report. The documentation prepared by Perry is now in the public domain. It tells an intriguing story. At Aylesbury on the 16th of February 1962, at 15:30 HRS, I visited the civil police and requested information on an alleged flying saucer incident. I was afforded every facility by the civil police authorities, and although no official report had been made, details of the incident were recorded in the station occurrence book. The details are as follows. Mr. Ronald Wildman of Luton, a car collection driver, was traveling along the Aston Clinton Road at about 0330 HRS. On the 9th of February 1962, when he came upon an object like a hovercraft flying approximately 30 feet above the road surface. As he approached, he was traveling at 40 miles per hour, but an unknown force slowed him down to 20 miles per hour over a distance of 400 yard. Then the object suddenly flew off. He described the object as being about 40 feet wide, oval in shape with a number of small portholes around the bottom edge. It emitted a fluorescent glow, but was otherwise not illuminated. Mr. Wildman reported the incident to a police patrol who notified the duty sergeant, Sergeant Schofield. A radio patrol car was dispatched to the area, but no further trace of the flying saucer was seen. It was the opinion of the local police that the report by Mr. Wildman was perfectly genuine and the experience was not a figment of imagination. They saw that he was obviously shaken. I spoke to Sergeant Schofield and one of the constables to whom the incident was reported. Both were convinced that Mr. Wildman was genuinely upset by his experience. February 23, 1975. A spiky UFO, Mavis. Alan had a very strange encounter on a particular morning in 1975 in an area of woodland in central England. As Mavis walked her dog through woods near the town of Rugeley, she was amazed to see a circular, black-colored object rolling along the ground in front of her. It was around 6 feet in circumference and had 4 protrusions, that Alan referred to as spikes, that stuck out from equal points around the middle. Alan stopped in amazement as the object rose slowly and silently to a height of around 15 feet and which then shot away at a fast pace. May 1st, 1994. A boomerang attracts official secret attention. Under the terms of the UK Freedom of Information Act, the following brief extract from a much longer and still withheld file offers the following tantalizing insight. The 1st of May 1994, sighting of unusual object. Member of public reported seeing a black boomerang-shaped object, which appeared to hover over RAF Northolt above 30,000 feet before tumbling approx 2,000, 3,000 feet, while rotating through 180 degrees on its axis. No other reports of anything unusual received, possibly AC in Bovingdon Stack, seen from odd angle in setting sun. What all of this tells us is that reports in the skies of our world, concerning mainly small objects, is nothing new at all. Of course, none of these things can be said to military craft, unknown objects, or alien spacecraft. Yet what we're saying now was being done decades ago.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to support this kind of content. See you on the next travel.